Good evening. This is Kay Aubrey Shemaine. I'm the owner and director of Grand Adventures Ranch, a holistic equine wellness center in Sonoyta, Arizona. This is our weekly Always Shine Your Light education series, and tonight we're going to talk about why it sometimes takes 24 hours for miracles to occur. We often have amazing results right in the middle of a photopuncture session. Like any kind of therapy, sometimes it just all clicks and everything that you were trying to have happen works immediately. But a lot of times with energetic therapies, we may not see all of the benefits for 24 hours. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is why it can take that long. The meridians, or the energetic pathways, run through the body of the person, the horse, the cat, the dog, just like highways do across the country that you live in. All right? They help energy or traffic to flow efficiently through the entire body. And for the purposes of this talk, I usually say chi. Some people say chi, some say ki. It's energy. This is a nutritive energy that flows through the body, nourishing the tissues, helping each of the cells and all of the organs to have enough energy to do their job. Okay? And since that energy flow, that chi, flows in one continuous, unbroken cycle, it goes in one direction throughout the body from one meridian to another in a very specific, well-determined order. We usually start, I know it's not at midnight, but it's considered to start in the lung. And we use this as just a starting place to learn it. There is no beginning or end. It keeps flowing continuously. But if you can look through this chart, the way the arrows flow, it runs from the lungs to the large intestines, to the stomach, to the spleen. You don't have to remember all these, but that energy flows, and the flow is strongest in each meridian at a certain time of day. So that is strongest in the lungs from 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning. It is strongest in the gallbladder at 11 o'clock to 1 a.m. at night. So sometimes some practitioners use that for diagnostics. What time of day did something happen? And sometimes it's just if in a critical situation, you may get the best results for any one meridian if you treated it at a specific time of day. But for the purposes of what we're doing tonight, we're just talking about why, if you put energy in at the lung meridian, it might take 24 hours to travel all the way through all the meridians of the body and come back to full strength at the other end. It goes 3 times through a very specific cycle. It starts in the torso of the body. The lung meridian starts right in the middle of the chest muscle and runs down the front leg, or on on your arm, and then back up to the face. From the face all the way along the body back to the back leg back up to the torso. It does this 3 times all the way through the body. So that's 12 meridians, 3 times through a 4-step process. And we're going to look at that really quick. This crazy picture is all of the mishmash of crisscross of the different meridians. I'm going to break it down and simplify it very, very quickly. We're just going to run through the flow of how these things go through the body. So here we start in the lung. It begins up in the chest and flows down the inside of the leg to the front hoof. Runs back up the leg, across the knee, through the shoulder and neck, back to the head. Then it comes down into the stomach, from the head, back down through the torso, all the way down through the back leg. And then up the back leg, back into the torso. So that's a cycle, okay? The cycle starts over again from the torso of the heart, down the leg, back up the foreleg, back to the head, all the way back along the body to the back leg again, back up into the torso. There's our second cycle. And then back down the leg for the pericardium, back up the leg to the head with the triple heater, all the way along the body to the gallbladder meridian, up the liver into the torso. So there's our third cycle. It always travels that way. Front leg, back up the leg to the head, head to the back leg up to the torso. So three things to remember about this whole cycle. When miracles occur, they may not be the miracles we're asking for. The body may have different priorities than we do. It needs to balance first things first. So just because we're treating for a limp and we want to see that limp disappear doesn't mean that when we treat it in a photopuncture session and we search for blocked energy and then balance that energy, that the result we get is that that limp disappears. We hope that it is, but if something more critical to survival was the first thing that the body had to balance, we need to let that happen first, and we still need to recognize and honor that and see it as a miracle. Always try to quantify your results before and after every session, whatever it is. If they were limping, if they were unable to turn their neck, however we're quantifying, how far can the neck turn to the left or the right? Usually with a carrot stretch or some way that's very little pressure. How far can the legs stretch? Are the hips in balance? How strong is the resistance to a tail pull? Checking for strength. Quantifying where we start and where we finish. And then quantifying it again 24 hours. And if you're not there, it's not your horse. Explain to the client what we're looking for. Help them to quantify the results. Let them discover the miracle. So our next class is Finding the Path. It's going to be July 16th through 19th in Golden, Colorado. And this is specifically going to go into a much more in-depth view of tracing those meridians, being able to find them, locate them on the horse, follow them through the body, remember where they went through the body, and then locate the master points that are on them. So we're going to open it up and unmute everybody. Do we have any questions? Sorry, I didn't get it unmuted correctly. Anybody have any questions?
So, Kay, in that class, do we get learning materials?
Oh, yes. You will have, everybody who's in that class gets a copy of the basically $100 book by, I can't think of her name, Pat Fleming. So the charts that we most like to use that are in our reports, these charts, you'll have the full book. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the best charts out there.
Well, I'm glad I didn't buy it then. Now I can get my own.
That's right. That's right. It'll come with the class, very definitely. I wouldn't expect anybody to try to do this without having a reference material. Don't worry. No other questions about how that flows. Everybody's got it. You just you understand exactly. And unfortunately, we don't have Diane on the call tonight, but part of the reason I brought this up is I wanted to address why she had to wait after having treated points on Thursday and then couldn't really scan Friday morning because things were still in flux. All of the energy that from treating those points were still traveling through the body. All right, well, if there's no questions on that, anything else people want to talk to about this week? It was a holiday week. Nobody has anything that came up. Well, that being said, we're going to go back to that report. This was Karen. Karen, you want to talk about what happened to Link? Hello? Karen? She disappeared. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
I bet you she had to go off and help her husband with something. Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, you know, husbands are that way.
Yeah.
So, Link is a big foundation quarter horse, actually not foundation, excuse me, racing quarter horse that she's had now. I gave him to her 2 years ago, and he came to me about 6 years ago. And my vet and his wife owned him. They could not keep him sound. So it turned out he had very, very deep infections way up high in the hooves that had been compounded by the fact that he had been shod down into aughts. I mean, his feet had gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, and his heels were so contracted you couldn't get a dime between his heel bulbs. Okay? And he's just the perfect trail horse. Other horses can go really fast and he doesn't get upset. Other horses can be jigging and nasty and he ignores them. If anything, he's just a hair lazy for my taste, but he's Balm proof. He's wonderful. Well, last week she took him out and he tripped on the trail and he's completely gimpy. So this was the results of the first scan. And in scanning his entire body, the only things that came up was the two shoulders. This and very similar on both sides, which is really interesting. Usually you have one or the other come up. And we don't have...
I forgot.
What's that?
I forgot to send you a picture of the dent.
Oh, that's right, he has a dent. Where's the dent?
It would be towards the front of his chest on the right side.
So we wouldn't be able to see it from here. It'd be up front?
You can see a little bit of it right below your arrow. Go down right there. Up.
Oh, so it's really hard to see, but that little pocket right there? And only on the one side?
Just on one side.
That's really interesting. So we have a divot in here.
A little more towards the front.
More towards the what?
Towards the front.
Oh.
Front of his chest. Right there.
Okay, right there. Okay. So, how did he respond with the first treatment?
Licking and chewing.
But
And then the second one started wanting to nip at me.
And he was nipping at you, not at the pads?
At me.
Interesting.
And rubbing his head on me, which he doesn't ever do.
Interesting. And the single treatment, by the way, did not fix the issue, which is why I'm really guessing that he's got some soft tissue damage, especially if we have an indentation here. But and so the last light treatment was yesterday?
Day before.
Day before. And tomorrow you're going to scan again?
Yep.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
So can I ask how long he's had that indentation?
Been about a week.
He's only had the indentation for a week?
Yeah, after he got hurt, I noticed it.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a really balanced horse. You would notice it. I mean, if this had been there before, she'd have noticed it on him. So that's why I'm guessing.
So,
go ahead.
Well, is that you said he fell down on the trail? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he fell on his face.
And he fell down at like to his knees in the front?
Just about, but he recovered right back up.
And so, what side was he lame on it on the side, or was he, or that's
Yeah.
that, and that's the side he was lame on?
Lame on the right side.
I mean, it almost looks like he pulled a muscle. I mean, he actually tore a muscle there, but that didn't come up in the scanner?
Nope.
Yeah, and nothing came up in the front.
Which I find
Wow.
really interesting that nothing, that's why she and I were talking earlier about going in and just really micro scanning that, turning things up a little bit more. Because, yeah, you would expect if he had a torn muscle that...
But I've been treating that area anyway.
Yeah, oh, even before the first scan?
Yeah, because I noticed it there.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize she'd been treating that before the first scan. So she may have already have dispersed a lot of the inflammation. Okay. Yeah, we've had to do some, her scanner is waiting for a new battery, so she had to wait till she could come over and get my scanner. So, yeah, that makes sense you were treating him first. Well, it's going to be interesting to watch how this proceeds, just to see how he comes along. But definitely get out and see if you can get a better picture of that.
Well, I have a picture in my camera of the dent.
Oh, okay. All right. Very interesting. All right. So, those are not really edifying, but just for the purposes of ongoing what we're doing with horses, I just thought it would be interesting to see and to track. Okay. Anybody else have some input on that one? Unfortunately, Karen from Idaho doesn't get to see all of that, but I will publish. If nothing else, I'll make sure you get a link to the whole one for tonight, Karen.
Thank you. That'd be great.
It's hard when you can't get to see the pictures. Well, since we're all coming off a holiday and we're almost up with our half an hour anyway, we'll go ahead and shorten this one. Does anybody have anything specific they'd like to talk about next week?
Well, Kay, I was wondering if you got my pictures of that black Frisian that I sent you.
Oh, I did, and I completely spaced it. I knew there was something for tonight that I wanted up there. Okay, they will be. I will put that. I will go ahead and mark those for next week already.
Okay.
All right. I am so sorry. I knew there was something.
Oh, that's okay, because I mean, but the good news was that, as I said in the email, after 2 light treatments and 1 chiropractic treatment, the horse, you saw the before and after pictures, and I thought I was going to be there for weeks after I saw that first scan. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then her trainer came up to me and hugged me. She trains at a bunch of different barns, and I was at my barn, and she came up and she's like, I love you.
Really?
Oh my gosh, she's like, that horse, what she said, before I got out there, because she's the one that recommended me because I had worked on some of her other horses, or clients' horses, and she said, that horse was not forward at all. He was, bitchy. He didn't want to go. And she's like, she took him out the day after, the day of the second treatment, because she asked me, can we ride him? And I'm like, yes, please, go ride him, see how he feels. That's the beauty of all this, is you don't need the downtime, really.
Right.
And so her trainer went out there, and she saw me that afternoon, and she's like, I love you, because he's a big black Frisian dressage horse, and he's magnificent. And so she was just so happy with him. So, but yeah, he was a mess, as you can see from those before pictures. I mean, and I didn't just dot because the thing was screaming all the way down his neck. So that's why there's a lot of lines there, because
right.
That's just where it just kept screaming and screaming and screaming. It wasn't like a boop. It was all the way down his neck. And so, yeah, so that was, I just wanted you to take a look at that and see if it's just a mess, isn't it?
It is, and now, of course, I can't find those pictures at all.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need me to send them to you,
do me a favor, send it again so that I get it into the right folder, and I will put it up for next week. I'm going to mark that on the calendar right now. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Anything else? Any topics that people have a burning desire to know about?
Well, I have a lady that my barn manager. She keeps asking me about ringbone.
Mm-hmm.
Can our lights do? I know it says they're supposed to be able to, but I have a hard time really,
Oh,
saying
yeah.
yes or you
You
know what I
weren't
mean?
on these, honey. We with the ankle savers and the tendon savers, you can
Yeah.
melt ring bone.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Here we've got pictures of well, let's see. We've got a local client who her husband had a stroke a couple of years ago. Big man, okay, and his horse is a half warm blood, half quarter horse, big boned boy. All right, and one of those incredibly responsible. I never take a foot wrong. I got to take daddy. And the horse is so responsible that he threw himself into ring bone because he's just totally off balance with this big man on him who's tied into his saddle. And let's see. See if I can find the good pictures. I've got it somewhere. I've got it all set up, but um, here is Ben. This is actually before they got really. I mean, before we really, or after we'd already gotten rid of some of the bone, but you can already see the ring bone on him, right? You can see the deformities here, here, here.
Yeah.
When we first started, you could be way back from him. You could be 30 feet and really still see the inch-high bone spurs. And,
Okay.
we talked to them a lot about getting those toes shortened and, doing other things to help him out. And we did some other balancing for his body. And then we got her a tub of Dynamite Balm. And I love Balm. It goes in and it softens the calcium from the spurs. It'll work on splints. It'll work on ring bone. And then every day she would go out and she would put on wound balm, wrap this with saran wrap, and then put on an ankle saver. Okay? And we saw him again maybe, let's see, this was 30 days later. And he was just standing across a fence line from me, so I'm sorry it's not perfect. But these were, the calcifications felt like hot jelly. The biggest, like it would heat it up and the top layer would be very gushy. And most of this was gone.
Wow.
And at 90 days, you had to feel for them. They were there, they were way down in, but you had to go looking for them. And I don't remember the date on this one. But look at this. You see the difference?
They're almost gone, yeah.
Yep. And,
well,
after the first 30, 40 days, I bet you she did it 2-3 times a week, if that.
So if I don't have the ankle savers, the tendon savers with that balm would do the same?
It will, but it's hard to get it's hard to get the tendon savers down around that joint.
Yeah.
The tendon savers are better when you've got high ring bone, okay, when you're working up in this area.
Yeah.
Okay? And the ankle savers are better in this area. And what I normally suggest doing with people like that is sell them a set of ankle savers.
And what is that gel called again?
It's Dynamite Balm, Balm.
Okay.
It's actually
Dynamite Balm.
It smells like shoe polish. It's a natural petroleum-based ointment that comes up out of the ground that they just filter and put into tubs. The Indians have been using it for hundreds of years, and it's amazing stuff. I love it for the white hair after saddle sores, for scar tissue, for any time where we have dead energy. If you are wearing a wedding ring and you rub it into your hands, you almost better take off that wedding ring first, because it's going to pull so much circulation in and heat the area up that you cut off the circulation to your hand from that wedding ring. But it's great for arthritic calcifications, and not just for horses. It's good on people and dogs and everything.
So if I have a horse that has a huge scar, she got basically de-skinned in a trailer accident from the hock down to the ankle practically. And there's not any proud flesh, but she's a show horse and they want her to, they don't want the scar there, obviously. And they've tried a lot of stuff. Would that help?
Tendon saver and balm. You bet.
Yeah.
You could do it with just
the balm. We used that balm on Misty's bed sores, and it got him down really small.
Oh yeah, the horse that came into us with huge bed sores, and you could have to go looking for him now.
Well, she's healed. It's just scars.
Right. These were healed up. They were mostly just scars, but we needed to, we were trying to get her past them. You could do it with just the balm.
Yeah.
Balm and lights is just faster.
And so you would wrap it with still wrap it with the saran wrap and then put the tendon saver over it?
Yeah, the only reason for the saran wrap is to protect the tendon saver from the grease.
Right. Okay. Well, we can give that a try.
But yeah, as you go forward, you're going to end up wanting ankle savers.
I really haven't found them necessary yet.
I know. It's just sell the ankle savers to all the people with ringbone.
What problems?
Yep, sell ankle savers to people with ring bones. You've bought a full
right.
system now, so I'm sure Ginger will be happy to set you up to pay you commission. I mean, I'll pay you, or I'll pay you commission.
What do the ankle savers run?
$700 a pair.
Because the same lady, that has this horse with ring bone, she's also got her cow horse is, he's been diagnosed with everything from navicular to, everything. And so she's ready to put bar shoes on him, and she keeps asking me about it, but she hasn't really committed yet. So I'm wondering if those would be good candidates for our clinic.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the kind of people to get in there, because we can make a believer out of them, and then you've got a permanent, committed customer.
Yeah, because this horse has been laying off and on for years, and, it's a sad situation because he's not that old. I think he's only 8 or 9, and she wants to ride him bad, but, he's always lame for one reason or another.
Right.
So, all right.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Well, now that we've gone well over our hour again. Okay, guys. And next week I promise to get the pictures of the Frisian up there. Send them to me again. I don't know where. I know I saw it the other day, but now I can't find it.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, guys. Take care.
All right, we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.